when I got married, after I finished my marriage and all the little bit of expenses, I had 1 lakh rupees in my bank, and that's it. But there was no, for some reason, I never grieved about, oh, I don't have money or whatever.
And you can put me on any set. I really enjoy being there. I'll watch the director doing his work. I'll watch the sound engineers doing their work. I'll watch the gaffers doing their work. It's just so interesting. But that's what I'm passionate about. You know, a footballer might just love being on a field and just watching things like a practice session going on. He's passionate about it. Like I'm passionate about filmmaking.
No, it's not a talk. It's like probably we just pass on certain things and just remind them, like reminders. So it's like how a coach would do to his athlete or his student or a music teacher would say. Is that you just remind certain points where which will help you and just so you it's there somewhere in the back of your head.
Welcome to Speakeasy. My name is Rudrani, and today is Father's Day. I'll be in conversation with a really cool father and son duo, Mr. Javed Jaffrey and Mizan Jaffrey. Hello. How have you guys been?
Hello. Hello.
Right.
Hello.
So I'm going to start off by saying, besides the obvious similarities here, of course, Javed ji's the background is blurred, so you will not be seeing it. Besides the guitar, what are the few similarities, Mizan, that you see, Darren, you share?
Fashion sense, I guess, dressing
Really?
sense. Yeah, I sort of got it from him. Apart
Okay.
from that, also taste in movies and music, I would say.
सही है कि you'd like to not believe that, Javed ji.
Then yeah, I mean, certain things in fashion, few things we may differ on because obviously they've got their newer stylings and all. Mine is more classic. I mean, I don't follow brands as such. I've never been a brand kind of a guy. So
Yeah.
yeah, but like it, so there are certain things Mizan will vouch. I've got which are like 15 years old, which even Mizan can wear it today and it's still in style.
I think it's confession time, no, Mizan? Let's just take advantage of this Father's Day and tell your father something that you lied to him massively, and today you'd like to sort of confess.
I don't think that there's something that you can hide from your parents. I mean, even if you think that you're hiding it, I feel like somewhere sort of they do know. And like in school, I used to lie about a lot of things, कि ये हो गया, and I actually didn't do this. And then he would get a call and he would already know, you know what I'm saying? He already got the call beforehand from the school about whatever's happened, and I probably lied about it. And then he'll be like, I already spoke to the principal. I already know what you've done. I already know what your grades are if I ever lied about them, which I did most of the time. And any new thing how about we?
Anything new?
Uh, I don't know. I've never spoken to him about my girlfriends in the past. So never, ever actually.
But you have
So
a feeling he knows about them.
yeah, over time I think he learned about them, but when they were there, he definitely did not know about them. Not with my mom, for that matter.
Do you know who he's talking about, Javed? Javed?
Yeah, in school, yeah, I think there was one, two, probably, yeah. Yeah.
So
There were
basically,
more, but you don't know.
Two, I think. Yeah, probably. Then that's it. After that, I mean, I didn't keep track or something.
have you tried having the talk with him? Have you ever like given him or be responsible and like be too? Has that happened ever?
No, no, that happens once a week.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
And how does it end?
With me saying yes, G. He always makes fun of me just saying G because I don't know what else to say.
Is that it? Are you giving the talk once, at least once a week to him?
No, it's not a talk. It's like probably we just pass on certain things and just remind them, like reminders. So it's like how a coach would do to his athlete or his student or a music teacher would say. Is that you just remind certain points where which will help you and just so you it's there somewhere in the back of your head and you utilize it. Uh, I can't put it to practice for him. He has to do it. I can just keep just reminding him. The reminders sometimes stay there and maybe helps.
What is one quality of Mizan's that you really, really sort of, appreciate? And a quality that you think he should definitely change that you don't like? And the same with Mizan. This is going to be awkward, but might as well.
No, I know what he'll say. uh, he's 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 a what I really like is he's respectful and he gives time uh, to his elders. whoever they may be, elders, not just family, but he'll do that. He'll take time and make that elder feel special, and even if he's just going and sitting down and saying namaste, salam. And I think somewhere his value systems, I think, are pretty much balanced compared to a lot of other kids I see around. He's balanced quite to an extent. I'm not saying nobody's perfect, neither was I, so I don't expect that, but fair enough. So that for me is important in the value systems, respect and being honest to your work.
And what's one quality that you want him to change that you don't like?
The reminder.
The thing where he goes, Jiva. And then I know it's not working. So
No, it's working, but for me, it's like, okay, I already know what you're talking about. I know what you're good. The funny thing is, I've tried this at least 100 times over my whole life with him. Whenever he's about to say something, I know exactly what he's going to say.
Critically honest about your work? When he's talking about your work, do you think he's giving you like the most honest criticism, or is there somewhere a little bias involved saying that
No. He always gives an honest criticism because I guess he wants you to be perfect and want to do better. I mean, that's how it should be. I guess I would be the same way if I was to even give criticism to my friends, not just my son. Being in this industry now, I do realize how difficult it is. It's one of the toughest industries, and I realize how difficult it is to last in the industry and to be able to do good work. I've just been here for like a year now, ever since my first movie release. But he's been working here for 35 years? 35 years?
Yeah, 35
years. I have seen people, like he's come way before a lot of these actors today who are there. And he has lasted all this while. He's done variety of work. He's done different kinds of stuff because of his talent, and that just because of his hard work, because of the time that he puts in whatever he does. So he's done that all over these years, and he's lasted for 35 years in the industry. I think today I understand that better than anyone because I'm part of it. So I realize how difficult it is to last in the industry, and that's something I really look up to. When I talk to my mom also, sometimes I'm like, how has he done this for 35 years? Think about it, because I've seen a lot of actors who are so credible, so talented, just come and go. Some who, were really big at one point of time and just gone. And then some who were nothing at one point of time and now have become huge. But at the same time, the main thing that, I really look up to is to maintain the person that you are and your characteristics and your humility, and you maintain that throughout the 35 years. Because me and him both have seen a lot of actors change over time. I hear so many stories from him, so many actors who were nothing when he was something, He still is something, but you know what I mean. But when they would come and say that, sir, please, we need your blessings. And today they're like, oh, they don't even look at him. They don't even say hi. So that is really not accepted. But he has, maintained his humility and, maintained the kind of person that he was way back then, even today. Even his friends would agree. But I think he also gets that from his father. So you can't take that away.
Wow, that's well put, yeah. Is there anything that you want him to change?
Reminder.
both of you have a problem with the reminders. That moment of struggle, how did you sort of come out of that and keep yourself positive is what I want to understand.
I personally, look, because I had a lot of experiences passed on secondhand through my father. So I got, obviously it's not a first-hand experience because I could never. He was like thrown on the street at the age of 9, 10, coming from a good house, good household, good family in some place in Gwalior, and then suddenly coming to Mumbai and then like on the street on a footpath living under a bridge with his mother. So I got that, and how he met the people, how the filmmakers were then. His mentors, because there was no father. So the father figures for him were Bimal Roy, Guru Dutt, K. Asif, Mehboob Khan. They became, and they used to talk to him like an adult, because my father was very mature at that age also. So and all that he absorbed, he passed it on to us. So the whole thinking aspect was so amazingly Indian. Like you have, so this whole today when you talk about this whole division and it's us and them and this whole they're playing this card all over. And I listen to my father and these wonderful people who made this country through their films and what this country actually represents through their movies and the stories. So that came to me. In my opinion, he was the best child actor I have seen in Hindi cinema till now. And I don't exaggerate. If I look at his work as a child actor, it just flows so naturally at that time. When kids were saying, Bapu, Bapu, तुझे पता है माँ ने मेरे साथ ऐसा किया. Now that, you look at him and he's going, he would probably say, Bapu, माँ ने ऐसा किया है, आपको बुला रही है माँ. Bapu, माँ. So that contrast is immediately there. You look at a film like Dubai Ka Zameen. Look at him as a Shushan boy. Look at Arpar. And you see, man, this kid is, and he's crying real. There's no glycerine. That is another thing which is amazing about it. He can cry. Like that child is crying real tears with the scene. So for me, that was amazing. And then he passed it on to me and to us. And for me, that was important and that stayed within me. And those values I still uphold. And I think those people, they were great. A few of them are still there who think like that. A few, very few. But now it's much more of business and it's become much more of the political influence, what's happening. That was a different period. And I feel for me, as an actor, well, like you said, how I survived for 35 years, and I stuck to what I did. And I did not feel shame in doing any kind of work because there was a time when television beckoned. And I came in 85. Television called me in 94. In 94, I also got married in May. When I got married, and so I was 9 years in the industry, I hardly had any money. I had when I got married, after I finished my marriage and all the little bit of expenses, I had 1 lakh rupees in my bank. And that's it. But there was for some reason, I never grieved about, I don't have money or whatever. Okay, I had a roof above my head, fair enough. But I have never done that in my life. I've never worried, where will this money come from? Because I don't work for that money. For me, I work for what I enjoy to do. I love my work. And my prayer is always, give me good work. Like you said, I did voiceovers, I did animation, I did Disney, Mickey Mouse, Sher Khan, I did Incredibles. I wrote scripts for Incredibles in Hindi and the Jungle Book 2. I did Mumbai, a song. I did Tailspin dubbing. I did Takeshi's Castle. And I didn't find people. When I came into television, people said, "Arey, you're killing your career. A film actor going into TV means flop ho gaya, kaam nahi mil raha hai, to TV pe ja raha hai." And I got calls from Shami Kapoor Saab saying, "Beta, this is what you did on me." I did like on him 2 episodes, and he said, "Beta, it's like an elegy for me. What you've done, an epitaph for me on my grave." That's the kind of compliment. Mahmood Saab called me. Dharam ji called me. Bachchan Saab, Jaya ji called me saying, "Bachchan Saab, this is loving what you do." So for me, these are the things which keep me going. When your peers, there are a lot of, like Mizan said, good actors who are, really talented, but somehow they don't. So I think destiny, your kismat, like you say, plays a part. Definitely. Yeah. And this is how you hold yourself. You have to hold your dignity in the up and the down. And for me, I think a very good example is Mr. Bachchan, because he held his dignity in the up and the down. And very rarely people do that.
Maybe for the past few days because of what has happened, but it's a conversation that's been happening for a while. When, especially for people who come into the industry from outside, how do you sort of
when you say actually you are talking about the exceptions rather than the norm. The norm is people from outside. The exceptions are people from the industry. They are this minute community. They'll be like not even 5%. What are we talking about? 95% are people from outside. Give me the names. When people say, "Oh, nepotism," what nepotism? Show me the names. Give me the best in the industry till now, right from Dilip Saab to Rajesh Khanna to Amitabh Bachchan to Shah Rukh Khan to Akshay Kumar. Okay, then you'll find Salman Khan. Salman Khan was rejected. His first movie, his father said, "You find your way." His father was right. He told him, "You find your way. You'll find. I'm not going to push you." And Biwi Ho to SC flopped, and then Maine Kya Pyar Kya happened, and fine, people love. It's, this doesn't work. This whole nepotism thing is bullshit, man. What are we talking about? You think somebody's going to put 10 crores, 15 crores behind you just because they like you or your father? boss, it's business. If they feel you can recover that money, you have the potential, they'll back you with that money. It's all about money in the end. And nobody put that. Maybe they'll do it once. Ki, "Acha, inka beta hai, maybe he has scope." How many people made movies except for, okay, three names I'll give you. Dharamji made a film for his son. Dutt Saab made a film for his son. And Rajendra Kumar Saab made a film for his son. This is the times of 90s we're talking about. Late 80s, sorry. Now, they put their money. It was not public money. They are putting their money where their mouth is and saying, okay, I want to show you something. Check this out. If the audience says, I don't like it, bullshit, what will you do? I'm not taking their money. I'm not putting a gun to their heads, please watch my film. As opposed to other places where nepotism can happen and harming is politics, where you're using public money. This is your money. You're putting it and saying, okay, boss, please watch this. I think this boy is good. Have a look. Bachchan Saab didn't launch his son. Hrithik Roshan, when he came again, he was trained properly, like everything, whatever. All these guys who came. Sunny Deol, okay, ठीक है, my father said, I want a tough guy, horse riding सीखो, body बनाओ, तो भी acting कर लो, जो भी. But fair enough. Nobody's, like we said, we will always find acting up and down. But they all, Hrithik Roshan came in prepared. He was like a body बनानी है, dance सीखना है, acting करनी है, सब कर के आए. So I'm giving you a hero, which is a prepared hero. If I'm taking somebody from outside, if this kid is more prepared than that kid, what is your problem? At the end of the day, it is audience acceptance. If they accept you, they are the my bap. They'll say, boss, I like this guy. Even if he's not a good actor, they like something about him. Oh, he's charming. Oh, we love his smile. And I like his demeanor. Whatever.
You have to prove yourself. But I think there is an initial advantage that comes in with someone having a godfather in the industry. See, you will realize this as well also because you didn't have one.
I didn't have a godfather. Mizan didn't have a godfather.
Correct.
My father didn't have a godfather.
Exactly.
Okay, now the godfather can do what? He can, 50 people standing in a line, he'll tell you, okay, you come in the front, show me what he'll say, show me what you got. He won't say, you're chosen. He will say, okay, I'll open the door. You come in, you're in 50 people line, come in the front. That is the advantage you get. The door opens.
That's the advantage. There is an advantage of chance. Everybody wants to sort of make mark with the very first film. In some cases, you might not get that box office result. How do you deal with that?
Initially, it has a big impact on you because it's something that you've invested years of hard work into and a lot of your time. And it's something that you're really attached to because it's your first film. So obviously you're going to be extremely attached to it and you want it to do super well, not only for yourself, but also for the film. And then, the film didn't do that well. And initially it did have a big impact on me. And, my family and friends saw that. But then, with the advice that they gave me and the way I started thinking, I realized that it's not just my responsibility to make the film some blockbuster. It's not just one man's job. When a film comes together, it's a lot of people working together and contributing to it. There's a director, there's a producer, there's a writer, there's an editor, there's an actor, there's so many things. But people at the end of the day really appreciated my work, which, my parents kept on telling me over and over again that there's nothing to feel bad about because you did your part. My part was to be an actor and do my best in terms of my performance in the film, which I 100% feel that I gave it. And they know for a fact that I did. And then because of that, I have got Hungama today. Had I not performed well, there are some people who the movie's done really well, their first films, but because they had not performed well, they didn't get work after that.
Correct.
But I believe in myself and I know that I'm going to keep giving my 100% in the movies that I keep doing. And I know that, okay, I might not be the best actor, but okay, I can do a decent job, and I'm sure that I'll get better with time. Having a godfather or someone helping you out in the industry, I only feel they can give you that extremely minimal push. Because at the end of the day, like he said, the audience holds the grail. The decision makers will always be the audience. You can never take that away from them. And it always has been. Look at history.
Yeah, no. Another name I forgot. Aamir Khan. Aamir Khan came in a film called Holi with Ketan Mehta. Okay? Film didn't do well. Nobody even knew what happened, what Aamir Khan. Ashutosh Gawariker had a bigger role than Aamir Khan in Holi. Okay? Yeah. So, from that perspective, then Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak happened. It worked. People loved it. See, there is a lot of luck involved also. It is not just nepotism. Shah Rukh Khan came, Circus, whatever. He got 4-5 films back to back. You know, King Uncle, XYZ. There is a luck factor. Yes, he's a good performer. But luck plays a huge part for people. Look,
Do you think you're this? Have you played the good cop, bad cop thing with Mizan? Are you mostly the good cop in your family?
Yeah. The bad cop is mom. She used to always hit us. My father's never hit us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, never. He's probably hit me only once, that too on my hand. But my mom has thrashed me. My mom has been the bad cop, and my dad has always been the good cop.
yeah, but I didn't tell your mom to thrash you when I wanted to thrash you or something like that. You know,
Yeah, true.
that good cop, bad cop, when you say like, many marto, tu mar. That's I never did that because for me, the maximum I did, I should squeeze his hand, like, you know. So, okay, Mizan used to love music since a child. And the first song, which he used to like literally go like this, was Mehndi Laga Ke Rakhna.
Yeah.
So there was this big speaker in my house. So he used to sit like literally about 2 feet away, with cross-legged, straight like this, you know, and he's good. And you see him dancing in Boogie Woogie titles. The first episode of Boogie Woogie, and then that title lasted for 10 years. Boogie Woogie title, Mizan is there. He's about probably 11 months or maybe a year, and he's like, you know, done. So now the prayers, we are standing for prayers, and Mizan is standing next to me. And there's an auto rickshaw with Jhankar beats they play in the auto rickshaw.
Yeah.
So Mizan is playing like, you know, and he's like, okay, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. Suddenly it's passing anyway. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. That was really funny.
So I'm going to ask one question to you. Let me see if you get the answers right. Okay, you'll have to tell me if you got it right. Yeah?
Okay.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think is, again, it's for both of you, so you have to answer for each.
Got it.
So Javed ji, you answer for Mizan, and Mizan, you answer for Javed ji. Yeah?
Got it.
Okay. His favorite food?
Dal chawal.
He's right. Halwa and pulao, which my dadi makes for him.
Cool.
Is he right?
Yeah.
Best friend? You
Well,
can't
there
answer
was-
or not.
Till a point, there was a boy called Vivan. After that, in the recent times, things have changed. So he's got a few around him. I don't know if he's got one best friend. That's what I think. So that he can answer.
Yeah, I don't have one best friend.
Okay, you don't. So take it. Like
He's got a group of 4-5 who are this.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. What about you, Mizan? What do you think about him?
Family. His family.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the answer? Javed ji?
Yeah, like I said, I've got friends, but I think my best friends are my wife when I speak to my children, and you know, yeah.
That's fantastic. Favorite actor? I'm getting very easy
Mizan's favorite actor, Amitabh Bachchan.
Yeah. I think my dad's. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Dilip Kumar, Kamala Hassan, who?
Okay.
You can't ask him.
No. So yeah,
Kamala Hassan is my answer.
it will fluctuate between Dilip Kumar and Kamala Hassan, but Kamala Hassan more because of the variety he's done.
Yeah.
So for
Kamala Hassan.
that,
So bang on, like not bad at all.
Yeah.
What about?
and
Okay.
Kamal, actually, it's Kamal Hassan. We keep saying Kamal
Yeah,
Hassan.
it's Kamal.
Yeah, it's Kamala Hassan. Yeah.
Say, would you know who's one actor that you had a crush on for a while? For each, actually. Like you'll really say, oh, was my crush and whatever.
No, but yeah, okay, yeah. But actually, there was nothing where my wall was full of posters of Bruce Lee. You know, when I was younger, and I was actually till about 24, where Bruce Lee all over the wall. You know? And so there was never this women thing which is a poster which you're fantasizing about. It was not there. You like some women who think, as a Dimple Kapade was beautiful, you know, and I think she was the most beautiful woman in the film industry. So yeah, okay, if you call that a crush, it's not a crush, but yeah.
Fair enough. What about
And there was
Mizan?
a Pakistani actress called How can I forget him? She was in a series called Raat years ago. Uh, so Samina Pirzada. Yeah, yeah, okay, okay. So probably that would be a crush. You wouldn't know about it. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know
Okay,
about
fair
it.
enough. Not
I was
that
in.
deep.
I was in. Yeah.
We've learned something new today.
So
Yeah.
me, so Mizan crush. Uh, actually, I don't. These things he kept pretty hidden. Yeah, I wouldn't know what his
No?
crush. Uh, no, I wouldn't know about his crush.
Mizan, shall we ask him, does he know who you're dating right now?
Now he knows.
Now he knows.
Yeah. But
You
in
do?
school and all, he never knew. When I was younger, I guess some actresses that we really looked up to or like had crushes on were um, either Katrina Kaif or Kareena Kapoor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say more Katrina Kaif before, when I was younger.
Had you ever requested your father to like make you meet any one of the actors?
I
Was
actually
it
just met her on the sets of Suryavanshi with my dad, and she came up to say hi to me, and she was really, very humble and sweet, because actors don't do that. They don't come on their own set. They will never come and introduce you to
uh,
themselves to you. Saying that, oh hi, I'm Katrina, nice to meet you, because they have too much of an ego and attitude. But she did come up to me and say hi and introduced herself. And the only other actor I've actually seen do that is Ranbir Kapoor. So I really look up to that. So you should always. I've started
And,
doing that.
and I think Katrina also because her first film was with me.
Yeah.
I'll end it by asking the two of you to talk about this wonderful day. And
Sometimes fathers get maybe underrated, undervalued because obviously the mother is always there and spending the time with the children, and sometimes children feel that, oh, a mother did it. What did you do? You know, so like, yeah, it was quite strange because once something happened and they was much younger and something happened between my wife and me and we had this argument or whatever and then they came in and my daughter is telling me, what do you do? Mama does everything. And I said, huh? Okay. And that was like, I realized that the kids somewhere have this, oh, she's the one taking us to school or feeding us or, whatever. But it wasn't that. Like, for me, I always made time to be at their school, the parent teacher, the sports day or going for holidays. But beyond that, obviously, there's work. The timings were odd because they sleep, and then you come late or, and they leave early in the morning. So maybe that and kids feel that there's more connection with the mother. But I don't think so. I think most of the fathers, good fathers, I'm not saying everybody,
yeah,
they all look out for their children. They'll ask their wives what happened with this. The kids won't know this. They'll check out. They're worried. They want to see the best for their children.
The realization of the relationship of a father and son kicks in sort of after the age of 25, I would say, or like 23. Sort of when you become mature and start understanding things from a different perspective. I wasn't that close to my dad while growing up because my dad was busy shooting, my dad was busy earning for us. But as I grew up and I grew older, I understand him much more. So today I understand him much more. And I think we communicate much more than what we did before. So that's a good thing.
It's a good note. I thought we'll end on a high. Note, like.
I technically wanted to end on a note where I get to make you all strum the guitar for like,
Oh,
like 10 seconds.
Mizan can sing. Okay.
Why don't you
Where's the
strum
guitar?
something?
What do you want to
Just
sing?
Strum anything.
See the storm set in your eyes. See the storm twist in your side. For you. And twist of fate.
Was lovely. I'd like to clap for the
Thank
two
you.
of you.
Pleasure.
Thank you. you.
Thank you once again. Happy Father's Day.
Watch E-Town News Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. only on Zoom.